Hey there, what is going on? It is Rob from Crypto Bobby, and today I want to talk about NEO, especially after some of the things that have happened in the last few days really, and determine if now is a really good buying opportunity after it's going to pull back from its all-time highs above the plus 50 or so US dollar range, and if now is a great time to have a really reduced entry point within NEO, or if you should look at putting your money elsewhere. So I want to talk a little bit about that, and then I also want to talk about Litecoin's really incredible run as of late. It has been killing it, even more so, I think, in a lot of senses than Bitcoin and Ethereum. Litecoin has had some really incredible moves. I am not invested in Litecoin at all. Kind of regret the fact that I'm not, but I think it's still worth talking because I think it'll hopefully open up some eyes there and see if there's some opportunities there for for anybody as well. So as far as things go, taking a look at these charts right here. So if we're in NEO right now, if we're looking at NEO, so to give some context here, I am not personally invested in NEO right now. I bought in at $6 and then sold a few weeks ago, kind of when there was a little bit of a pullback off the all-time high to $38 or so. I just felt like it was a decent time for me to take profits, so I went and I took those profits and moved them into Ethereum and kind of rode that wave up a little bit. So turned out to be okay for me, but I know there are a lot of people here watching either holding either holding NEO or looking to potentially buy into NEO. And when we see how things have moved and progressed over the past couple weeks and over the past month or so, NEO has had an incredible run from the it was a while where it was under $5, but as of late, after the Ant shares to NEO rebrand, when you look at NEO, it went from around $10 or so all the way up to $50 something dollars, and it has since cooled off a little bit. And if we're taking a look, if we're going to measure from the all-time highs or so, from let's just say $51 down to where we're at right now, over the past 18 days, today being August 31st, NEO is down about 33% off of its highs from the other times this month. So definitely something that, it's definitely taken a little bit of a turn for the worse here. It's cooled off a little bit. People took profits on NEO. And then as of late in the past, let's say, a couple days, if we're taking a look on these 4-hour charts, things were consolidating around the $38 or, $38 or so range. There's some little bit of, buying and selling there, and things were consolidating. It looked like around the $38 mark. And then news came out. There was a Cointelegraph article, and there was some other things that China is considering regulations around ICOs. I made a video about it. A lot of people didn't like what I had to say, but it is what it is. But China is essentially right now considering some types of regulations around ICOs, and not that NEO is necessarily going to be extremely affected by those regulations, but companies that would be considering ICOing on NEO would potentially be those ones that are more highly affected by those ICO regulations. There isn't anything official right now. It's really just kind of rumors or just talk around what could potentially happen. But that rumor was enough to send the price of NEO down from $38 or so to kind of an average of $33, which has pretty much stayed at for the past couple of days, which has pretty much stayed at for the past two or so days since that rumor basically came out about China pursuing regulations or further regulations around ICOs, which would really more so impact the companies ICOing on NEO's platform than it probably would NEO itself. But since that's one of the big value propositions for NEO, I think it sent the price down quite a bit. But as we're looking at things right now, we're looking at 33% or so off those all-time highs. So, a lot of people, if you're holding right now, you're probably thinking to yourself, should I be selling this? Is this about to go a lot further down? Or is this a great time to even, double down on my stack? Or if you're out, is this a good time to buy back in, considering that you're down quite a bit off those highs and there is potentially room to grow for Ethereum? So I'm looking at that right now, and I'm considering too, since I took profits on NEO. I kept saying Ethereum. I don't know why. I took profits on NEO. Is this a good time to buy back into NEO? Is that what we're looking to do? Is this a good time to make that happen, or should we be selling if you're holding, or just not even considering going in? And as I'm looking at this, I am kind of taking a good peek around this $30 so mark, this $33 so mark, and I'm looking a little bit. It's settled down for the past 2 days, certainly around the $33, $32, $33, $34 mark, and I'm looking for, I would say, a breakout one way or another. And when I'm looking at this, I think to me, it looks like there's a bit of support at the $30 so range. There was initially, NEO went all the way down to maybe $28, but that was very brief. And pretty much rocketed right back up with some strong buy pressure you can see here. So it looks like $30 or so is kind of a nice level of support for NEO. And so I am watching right now for NEO to either get back above $36 or to drop below 30. And if it can do one or the other, I'm probably going to consider buying either way. So if it gets above $36, I'm probably going to be looking to put in a buy order and pull some NEO. If it drops below 30, I think that it could have a bigger fall off to maybe like 27, 26, whatever it might be, 25. So I might put in a buy order down there to try and take advantage of the pop. So I think those are kind of the two numbers I'm looking at. Is if NEO goes above 36, I think it's going to have room to run to the upside. If NEO goes back down below 30, I think it's going to fall quite a bit more because it looks like there is some support at 30. So if it eats that support and if that sell pressure goes below, I'm looking to potentially buy once it goes underneath that 30 range. But as it's kind of sitting here hanging out right now, I'm probably just going to be holding on to my other investments right now and waiting to see what NEO might do as it's kind of consolidating here during this little bit of a sell-off. But as it goes, I'm a fan of NEO. Like I said, I invested previously in NEO, so I like what has been going on with NEO, and I like kind of the overall approach that they've taken, the marketing that they've done. That's obviously, quite frankly, that's a big component of a lot of the success of some of these coins. So the marketing they've been doing is good, and I've liked that, and I like the overall backing in the community that they've created. So I'm going to look potentially at some re-entry points here. If you're holding, I would. It's tough for me to tell you one way or another. I think the sell-off, it looks like for the most part it's already taken place, but I don't quote me on anything. Quite frankly, I don't really have too much from a prediction perspective, and I don't like to be in the prediction game because you're responsible for your own investments. I'm responsible for my investments, and nobody can really predict the future. So as far as that goes, I'm just trying to give you my thoughts and where I might be looking at entry points, from NEO's perspective, being out of it right now, but looking to get back in. Now, another crypto that overall has done extremely well the past couple days is Litecoin. And if we're looking at LTC, I'll just pull up GDAX here. Actually, we'll pull up the CoinMarketCap, but today, in that top 20, basically August 31st, basically everything has been green aside from NEO, which has been interesting to see. And why I think, too, from a buying opportunity perspective, if you're going to buy on the dips. And it looks like, NEO might be in that really, nice dip period to buy. I'd like to see a little bit of support or move one way or another. But everything else is green besides NEO and Bitcoin. But everything else is in the green from a USD perspective. And one of the biggest ones is Litecoin. NEM is having a great day as well, but Litecoin finally broke above $70, which has been pretty crazy to see. I'll pull up these the GDAX charts. And Litecoin's run over the past month has been, I would say, really, really strong, really impressive. And again, I have no money in Litecoin whatsoever. I would rather, personally, at least I've said in the past, I'd rather have my money in Bitcoin than I would in Litecoin, but that's kind of making me look a little bit silly right now because Litecoin has absolutely crushed it. Over the past month, we'll take a look, from August perspective, but basically the month of August, Litecoin is up about 77% or so, over 28 days, 30 days, which is, that ain't bad. That is not bad for an established crypto that has been around for quite some time. So Litecoin has done really well. That's been nice to see Litecoin make some moves in the space. Been nice to see Litecoin have some success and make some moves. So I've liked to see that. I know a lot of people are invested in it, and as far as it goes, I mean, it's really rocketed in the past 2 weeks, going up from, or really the past week, going up from $50 or so to 70 plus. I don't know if this is going to be something that sustains or not. It'll be interesting to see, but I think a lot of the uncertainty around Bitcoin, it seems like a lot of the uncertainty around Bitcoin, whether it's Bitcoin versus Bitcoin Cash, and then the SegWit 2x versus no SegWit drama is contributing, I think, to a little bit of uncertainty around Bitcoin. Even though Bitcoin is soaring to all-time highs and doing incredibly well, I think there's still some uncertainty that's leading to Litecoin going up in overall market cap. And Charlie Lee, too, ever since he left Coinbase to work on Litecoin full-time, has really been kind of on a full-court press on Twitter and on a lot of places, talking about the value of Litecoin, making fun of some other cryptocurrencies. I mean, if you look at Charlie Lee's Twitter account, he's kind of all over the place talking about Litecoin on a on a pretty consistent basis. We'll see here if I can pull this up. Take a quick look. Our good friend Charlie Lee. So he's been talking about, he's been on a number of different YouTube channels. He's been on a number of different podcasts, but you can see a lot of what he's been talking about from a Litecoin perspective. He's been talking about the Lightning Network. Every time Litecoin does well, he's posting memes about Litecoin at an all-time high, talking about just kind of some of the different issues that are happening with Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, some of the different things that are happening there. So kind of calling out what Satoshi's vision is, what Satoshi's vision is not. So it's been interesting to see kind of Charlie Lee, now that he's maybe outside of Coinbase, has been a little bit more vocal in his criticisms of some of the things in the community. And I don't know if that's specifically driving the price, but I think people like, some people like having like a central figure to a specific cryptocurrency. Like, it seems like Ethereum, a lot of people like having Vitalik involved and kind of being that central voice, that central figure. Whereas right now in Bitcoin, there's kind of, even though Bitcoin is at an all-time high, there's a lot of like warring factions going on, and a lot of he said, she said, or really in cryptocurrency, he said type stuff, because there's not that many women in cryptocurrency, for better or for worse, or really probably for worse. So it's interesting to see how Litecoin has progressed. I am not in it, like I said, right now. I probably won't be buying in at these levels, because I would not really, me personally, I mean, these are some pretty aggressive green candles moving up, up and up and up. So, I mean, if I were to buy, it'd be on a pullback. But it's cool to see Litecoin doing so well, quite frankly. I know a lot of people are invested in it. I'm not personally, and the utility of it can be debated, but at the same time, it's good to see a cryptocurrency like Litecoin that's been around for a while, that has technology that's been continually improved. It has some real world use cases that it's having some success and doing well. So I've been happy about that. If you are invested in Litecoin, congrats on that. And then going back to kind of the original point, or one of the original conversations, if you're invested in Neo, if you're holding in Neo, good luck there as well. If you're looking at an entry point in Neo, again, I kind of gave you my thoughts on potentially where where the entry points might be, or where I'm looking at potential entry points. If it goes below 30, if it gets above 36 or so, those might be some two places where I might look to hop in to reduce my risk, or to just kind of increase the upside there. So I'm excited about that. Overall, fantastic day in the marketplace, and when you're looking at how much green there is. And if you do have any questions, though, I would really love to hear from you. That'd be awesome. I do daily recorded videos on this channel, so definitely subscribe to the channel if you are new here. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much for coming back on a daily basis, hanging out, liking these videos, commenting, talking to me. It's been so ridiculous to see this community's growth and just be able to talk about crypto to so many of you. There's over 5,000 subscribers on this channel right now, so thank you guys so much for that. And again, if you are new here, hit the subscribe button. Let me know if you have any questions on Litecoin, Neo, any other cryptocurrencies. Happy to answer those and try to evaluate some new opportunities, whether it's buying off of some dips, or if it's looking at some cryptos at their all-time highs, where they might go from here. Rob from Crypto Bobby, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. I hope you have a great day. Peace.